New York Knicks fans, how's it going, guys? I'm back. Finally get to talk about Knicks basketball again with you guys. No more CBA talk. No more lockout. Thought it was gonna happen uh, throughout the season. We wasn't gonna have no basketball, but now that we got, I could talk about this Knicks team. Give you my preview of the 2011-2012 New York Knicks. I start off with, first of all, everybody in the front office, all the guys who made the basketball decisions. This was a great off season. Great moves all around. Very good, solid moves. I really like what Greg Grunwald and the powers that be over there in the Garden really did to build this team. I'll start first. I'll start off with the center. The big need that the Knicks needed this season. Going to get Tyson Chandler was huge for this team. We lost Chauncey Billups through the amnesty provisions, but if you could think about it, probably Chris Paul didn't look like an option. The only way we could probably got him was through trading. We didn't have the trade pieces to do it, so we thought of the long term instead of the short term with Chauncey. We amnestied him and signed Tyson Chandler to a long term deal. He's the need that we wanted he's the need instead of the long shot want that Chris Paul was. He's the need that this Knicks team wanted. Coming off of the championship where he was the reason he turned the culture around in Dallas, and he was one of the main reasons why they won the championship against the Heat last year. And getting him will be perfect. Doesn't need the basketball, just defends, a relentless defender, crashes the boards, blocks shots, offense, defense, rebound, doesn't quit, brings the energy to this team, brings a want and a passion to play defense that this Knicks team really needed. It's going to help out Amar'e. It's going to help out Melo. Bring those guys, make those guys accountable to be on the defensive end, which is going to be good. So they can also, Melo and Amar'e can take that leadership with Tyson Chandler and spread it throughout this whole team, these young guys included, and this Knicks team could be a really a solid defensive team. I think he was a great, like I said, great pickup. He doesn't need the basketball. I think he's a guy who can average 8 and 8, maybe 8 and 10. With a block and a half to 2 blocks. I don't know, but he's gonna change the way the Knicks play in the paint. So I really like that move. Moving on, Josh Harrelson, the rookie forward slash center. He's a guy that Knicks fans, if you don't already, you already do, you love this guy. He brings everything to the court. He brings his heart, brings his soul into this team. He's one of those guys that kind of bugs the other team. You would hate to have him on your team because he does all the dirty work. You would hate that play against him, but you would love to have him on his team, and that's what Josh Harrelson is. He was always a good mid-range shooter, but it looks like he definitely got some range. Worked on a jump shot over the summer during the lockout, and he's starting to hit threes, which was kind of surprising to me because I knew he could hit the outside. I knew he could hit mid-range shots in that 15 to 18 range. But he's pushing it back to the 3-point line, and he's making them, especially the corner three and the top of the key, which is really going to be key for him. He's like a guy. He's going to crash boards. He's going to dive into the stands. He's going to dive into the camera row. He's just going to make those plays, and he's going to make the Garden fall in love with him. Jorts, I love that guy. I love that guy on this team. He's one of the good guys. Getting back Jared Jeffries, I think was a good re-signing. He's a guy who I define as a crafty defender. He's a guy where he could guard the perimeter as well as guard a little bit down low in the post area. He's not a strong guy. He's terrible offensively, but if he gets confidence, he can help out. But he's a crafty defender, like I said. Very good in a double team. He's one of those guys where he can sneak up and knock the ball away from the ball handler. Plays perimeter defense, like I said. He can guard. I think he can guard all outside perimeter defenders just due to his length, which is going to be a key. Really good on the inbounds pass. Can help out in a full court press type of situations, trapping situations. He's a guy that Knicks fans, they don't like him because just basically how he's really not a good offensive player, but he just does those little things as well, taking charges. He's one of the best guys I've seen take charges in this league. So he's a guy that is going to take away possession from the opposing offense. So I really like that. Moving on to Amar'e Stoudemire. Amar'e Stoudemire, he's going to be a guy, like I said, he finally gets to move to his natural position, which is the power forward spot. He gets to He gets to work on the wing a little bit more. He doesn't have to bang around with the centers, the Dwight Howard, the Andrew Bogut. He doesn't have to bang around with those guys. So that's really gonna be good. He's working on his 3-point shot, but he can dominate the wing with Carmelo in isolated situations, and I expect him to have a really great year. He's a vocal leader of this team as well, and I think that, like I said, having Tyson Chandler is really going to help him a lot, especially going to help him talk on the defensive end of the court, going to hold him accountable and become a leader on this team. Ronaldo Balkman has been a surprise for me. You can tell he's really worked on his game this year. A little bit better offensively, can drive to the hole, get to the bucket. He's really good defender in the post. He's a big, strong guy, but he's a guy that really surprised me. He should see some rotation minutes this year as well. Going on to Carmelo Anthony, I think Carmelo Anthony can have a great year this year. I think he could have one of those 25, 7, 7.5, and 4.5 assists, 7.5 rebounds, 25 points type of years. He's going to have the ball a lot more, I think, as the point forward, which I think everybody underrates his passing ability. He's a really, really good passer. So he's going to be a guy that's going to expect to do a lot, especially having the offense run through him, even if it's on a low post, high post, isolated on one wing, or if he's just operating the offense at the top of the key or at either elbow. So in the pick and roll situation with Amar'e or Tyson Chandler, so that should help out a lot too. And I think that he's starting to become a leader of this team. He was the first guy in the building as soon as the lockout was over. He's in the best shape of his life. You could see it. Last year he looked a little chubby, and you could tell that he's definitely trimmed down. He looks in the best shape of his life, and he looks like he's ready to take that step to be a leader and making everybody on this team better. So that's the one thing I really like about him. Getting Steve Novak, I think, was a great move at the other small forward. At small forward as well. He's a guy who replaces Sean Williams. Steve Novak is a sharpshooter, shoots over 41% from 3-point range. He's kind of a journeyman. He played in the D League last year, but he's a guy who's going to be definitely able to stretch the floor, especially so teams don't double team Carmelo Anthony or Amar'e Stoudemire where they have the ball, say in the low post or some reason. They could spread it out and kick it out to him, and he can hit threes from basically anywhere. He has great range and a great 3-point shot, so Steve Novak should help out a lot as well. Moving on, Landry Fields, the guard position. Landry Fields is a guy who lost his way. He was hot in the beginning, rookie of the year. I think he still should have been a rookie of the year last year, just because it was Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin didn't play like his real rookie year 2 years ago. So, but like I said, Landry Fields is a guy. He really didn't do good after the post-Melo trade. He couldn't really find a way to work and be involved in the offense. If he could find a way to do that, he should really help out this team a lot. He's a great rebounder, another guy who hustles a lot, working on that 3-point shot. Maybe his handle's a little bit better. He should be able to get to the hole. He has good size, and he can help out in the pick and roll as well. But he's going to be He's going to be a guy that I like him. I like him coming off the bench more, but there's not really a true option that we could put there. So he's fine. I actually like him as the starter guy. But I think Landry Fields can really, if he could find a way to get involved in this offense when it comes to cutting with Carmelo, just being in sync with Carmelo, since the ball's going to move through him a lot, he should help out. He should really have a good year. Bill Walker is a guy who should really help out. He could shoot the 3 ball. Very good at that. Very athletic. He can defend. He's a really tough guy to have on your team. He's one of those tough guys. So he should help out as well. He should get some rotation minutes. Moving on to, I think, a guy who's going to be special, Iman Shumpert. I saw him play in Georgia Tech a couple times, like I said in past videos. He reminds me, I'm probably going to get killed for saying this, but he reminds me of a poor man's Dwayne Wade. Now, I'm not saying he's Dwayne Wade. I'm not saying he could be better than Dwayne Wade. I'm not going to say that he's the worst player ever. He's a poor man's Dwayne Wade. He's 6'5", 220, athletic as can be, can jump out the gym, defends, plays with so much confidence and swagger that the Garden needs. Willing defender, just brings that attitude, and he has a really good shot. He can get to the rim as well. The only thing that's wrong with him is his shot selection. Sometimes he forces a lot of shots that we saw the 2 games in the preseason. He does force a lot of shots, but he's a guy that is really going to be really special. And I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up later on down the road starting for this team. But I'm really high on Iman Shumpert. I love them coming out. Like I said in past videos before, I was talking about him when people really didn't know about him. I liked him at Georgia Tech. He could play a little 1, but I think he's more of a 2. He can guard in any of the perimeter positions. I believe the 1, 2, and the 3. He can guard those positions, so he's going to be good at there as well. Moving on to the point guards, which is going to be a really interesting. Having Tony Douglas run the point for right now. I like Tony Douglas a lot. I think he's more of a 6-man scorer like Jason Terry. Yes, he's good enough to start, but like Jason Terry's good enough to start at Dallas, but he's that guy who could come off the bench and give your team that energy, give him that scoring advantage, because he can, like he did in the first game of the season against Chicago, or the first or second game of the season against Chicago, where he came off the bench and scored 30. He's that type of guy that could do it once he gets his outside shot going. But having him run the point for right now is really going to be struggling, so I really want to see what they do, what he does there. They brought in Mike Bibby on veteran, his minimum, so he's a guy that everybody's saying, oh, well, Mike Bibby didn't do anything while he was with the Heat. Well, it was kind of hard because, number one, he really doesn't fit that system. Like he said, he's a guy that needs the ball in his hand to kind of be more effective. He's a good catch and shoot guy, but he helps with coming off with Mike D'Antoni's system, coming off pick and rolls. Very good passer. Really not a really great defender. He's gonna have trouble there, but Tyson Chandler and those guys should help out. Iman Shumpert, those guys should help him out a lot. But he's a guy, like I said, a veteran guy. He knows how to run the system, can knock down the 3-point shot if he's left open. So he's gonna be a guy who's gonna be counted on. And the wild card for this team is gonna be Baron Davis. Baron Davis, I think, is the wild card for this team to determine how far these Knicks can actually go, and maybe they can be special in this playoffs. Coming off the bulging back, I think he'll be back by January. But if he can become a guy where he can get 14 and 8, that's phenomenal in the point guard position. I think by the time he's ready and healthy, he'll be the starting point guard. He's really going to help this team out a lot. Big loves playing in the guard, loves playing on the big stage, not afraid to take the big shot. He's knocked down big shots his whole career. He's just one of those guys. He's gonna bring a different type of mentality, a swagger to this team that I really gonna like, and just that. And he's just gonna bring that to it. It's just that it factor. He brings that as well. But I really like this team a lot. I think they could get to the second round. I think they match up with any of these teams. I definitely think they're a top 4 team. I think they definitely match up with the Heat. I'm not sure about the Bulls right now. The Bulls did get better. I like the Knicks last year against the Bulls because they didn't have Rip Hamilton. But now that Rip Hamilton is a guy who's going to probably become their secondary scorer to Derrick Rose, I like them. I like the Bulls a lot too. But I think the Knicks are definitely going to be a team that gets to the second round, in my opinion. I think they can make some noise. They get the right matchup. If they play the Heat, I think they can take the Heat because they match up so well with the Heat. And I think if Baron Davis can come back and play the way he can, I think the Knicks have the definite strong advantage at the point guard spot and definitely the center spot, unless the Heat do something there at those 2 positions. But like I said, I'm really excited about this team. I can see a lot coming. It might be a little bit slow in the end, but a lot of teams are going to probably be like that just because of the way everything's punched together. Injuries, health is going to be a key thing. But the one thing I'm very glad about is there's no distractions on this team. No Carmelo stuff, no CP3 stuff. There's no drama. You can just focus on basketball. And I'm just excited about this Knicks team. December 25th, Christmas Day, Garden, 12 o'clock, Knicks, Celtics, first game of the NBA season. And I'm just excited, as you guys could tell. I love my Knicks, and I know all the Knicks fans out there are excited as well to get basketball back in the world's most greatest arena, the Mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden. So talk to you guys later, and like always, let's go Knicks.